Hello, welcome back. We are going to back our hoops. Now, if you haven't yet, before you back your hoop, go ahead and erase your lines. So if you have something water soluble, you're going to want to get it wet and scrub out those lines and then let it dry completely. Just lay it flat to dry before you back it. I used a heat erasable pen, so I've already erased my lines. There used to be blue around these guys. Those are gone. Anyways, I use a blow dryer and I just like blow over it for a minute or two. And then you could also use an iron. Yeah, so erase your lines and then back it. I forgot to grab a hoop because I'm not going to finish it in this blue one. Hold on. Let me grab a wooden hoop. I forgot. Okay. So what we're going to do first is if you stitched in the hoop you're finishing in, great. If you didn't, then we'll take it out first and then we'll move forward. Now, you can back your embroidery with another piece of fabric or you can leave it open. It's totally up to you. I like to use a fabric because I don't want to see the stitches in the back, but if you want to be able to see this, then just put it in your hoop. You can just skip the step of putting fabric behind it, but let me sorry, I gotta loosen my hardware. So I have a bunch of fabric that I got from a friend. It's just a ton of like funky fabrics. Now, if it was orange on the other side as well, I would probably put a gray layer in between, just like a super basic gray quilting cotton. It just helps so you don't see that orange through it. You'll still be able to see it a little bit with this one, but I'm not super worried about it because it's going to my personal collection. If I was giving it to somebody or if I was selling it, I would put a piece of gray fabric between because you can kind of see that orange a little bit. Maybe you can't on camera, but in person I can see it. So if you're worried about that, you can do your pattern fabric, a gray fabric, and then your project. Or if you're backing it with black or with gray or with white, then you won't have this issue, but okay. So we have our backing fabric and then our project. If you're not doing a backing fabric, you just need your project. You didn't even have to take it out of the hoop if you were finishing it in the hoop you were stitching it in. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna lay our outer hoop on top and our inner hoop behind them. And then we're gonna get it drawn tight again, like we did before we started stitching. So you can see it's not tight. I mean, it's loose, but you can see where it should be centered right there. So what I do is I usually pull them both first and then I'll go and tighten them one at a time if I need to. Just depends on the project. But I'll usually go around first and then tighten it a little and then tighten my hardware and then tighten the fabric more, but I didn't even bring my screwdriver over here. So hang on. I wish my desk had better sunlight so that I could just stitch over there with all of my stuff, but it's not bright enough over there to do stitch alongs. Okay. What are we doing for the stem? So the stem, I did a split stitch. I did a video. It was like 3 minutes long that I'll share on my stories in a little bit, but I did a stem stitch. Or no, I mean, I did a split stitch. But I just did a little tiny live video for that specifically a second ago, but Okay. I like to push this like up against my stomach and then push or pull this. I feel like I have a little bit more like leverage. No worries, Lisa. You really didn't miss it. You're totally fine. Let's see. Is that even... I think my center is off. Oh, man. I got to take this off. If I go up from her chin, my hardware is off just a hair. That'll bug me. Hold on. A little bit more. Okay, that's better. I can still see this orange through this. I should have probably grabbed some gray. Too late. Okay. So once it's in there, nice and snug, check to make sure that there's no wrinkles back here. If there is, you can pull like just your backing fabric if you need to. But once it's where you want it, it's centered, it's straight, it looks good, then we'll go ahead and close up the back. Let me just tighten this a little bit more. All right, so I'm gonna cut the orange, the backing fabric down to the hoop. Now, let me just say that there is plenty of different ways to back a hoop. If you already back hoops and you like your way better, go for it. If you don't like this way and you want to look up another way, go for it. Some people will glue it. Some people will cut like the project down to the hoop as well. Some people will cut it short and then glue it to the inner hoop. Some people use felt. Some people, whatever. This is the way I do it. So, all right. So now we just have our white fabric. So what I'm going to do is just trim it down. So it's about an inch away from the hoop. I like to do it after I'm done stitching so that I don't have like frayed edges like this. Doesn't need to be perfect, but about that far away. Okay, so now we have all this extra space. We're gonna do a running stitch. So I usually just pick one of the colors that I use to stitch on the front to tie it closed. So I'm gonna do yellow, maybe. What I do is I kind of wrap this loosely around and just go, okay, that will go all the way around. You could also measure it if you wanted to, more exactly, but I'm not super worried about it. So we're gonna thread 6 strands. You don't wanna do less than 6 strands because you're more likely to break it when you pull it tight, like pull it closed. So I usually just do 6, but you could do like 6 and double it over and have 12. I also like having a longer tail. So I tied my knot here, so I have this much, because then I can grab onto it to pull it when we pull it tight at the end. So I start at the top where we have the hardware. Come from the back to the front. Okay, and then there's our knot, there's our little tail. And then a running stitch is you just go up and down all the way along. So I usually do a couple at a time. So I go up and down, and then pull my needle. This is just called a running stitch. I usually keep it semi close to the edge without getting too close to the edge. Maybe like a third of the way. I'm a little bit closer than usual, but about 1/3 of the way. That also had a little bit more fabric than some do. But then it'll pull flat, or at least mostly flat, but still give us like a cute finished looking back. Takes longer. The bigger the hoop, the longer it takes. 4-inch hoops, they're fast. Done. These 7-inch hoops take a little longer. Almost there. Ouch. It's a sharp needle. Okay, so once you get to the end, you want to end in a down, semi-close to where you came up in the first place, and then take your needle off and get it out of the way. Okay, so we have our two ends. These are what we're going to tie together. So I usually do one at a time, and I'll pull this side and then I'll pull this side. So they're both pulled tight, and then we're going to double knot this. Grab somebody else if you can't do this one-handed. I usually had, for a long time, I would have my kids, come here and hold this for me. There we go. Cute little tail. I like how this looks. I probably could have gone a little bit shorter. I went a little bit long, but I don't know. I think it's cute. Little tail. That's it. Finished. She is cute. Okay, that's it, friends. Let me know how it goes. I want to see your finished pieces, so when you're done, message me or email me. I want to see them. So can't wait to see them finished. Thank you so much for joining in, and I will see you next time. Bye.